It landed in Miami. Their departure clears the way for the return of Jean-Bertrand Aristide. That's expected to happen on Saturday.
Locally, people lined up today hoping to avoid a bout with the flu. Multnomah County's flu shots clinics open today. This year's vaccine protects against 3 strains of flu. Almost 1,000 Oregonians died of flu complications last year. It claims about 40,000 lives yearly. If you would like information on the next clinic in your area, you can call 1-800-SAFENET. In Multnomah County, anyone over 65 will be able to get the shot free. For everyone else, it is $10. State health officials say the Salmonella outbreak is spreading. The state laboratory has now confirmed 8 cases and suspects 2 more. The outbreak involves 6 counties. The illness is linked to contaminated dairy products from Schwan's Dairy.
We're calling everything produced since July 1st that doesn't have a stick in it. In other words, the fudgesicles and popsicles and ice cream bars are not being implicated because they were produced at a completely different plant. But every other form of ice cream produced by the company is being recalled.
The flu-like illness will typically last about 5 days. It can be serious for the young, old, and chronically ill. If you have any of the Schwan's dairy products, you're asked to return them. And if you have questions, you can call 1-800-544-6855. Now, the state had to adjust the number of cases from yesterday's total. Today, they learned that some of the salmonella detected was not connected to this specific outbreak.
State health officials say they are stunned at the number of people who are moderately or severely depressed. 1 week ago, the nation held the 3rd annual Depression Screening Day. Locally, health officials say of those that took part in the screening, 95% suffered with some form of depression. Many of the participants required follow-up. Some were referred to the hospital. 17 million Americans suffered with depression. People who have eye surgery so they don't have to wear glasses may end up wearing glasses anyway. Radial keratotomy corrects nearsightedness, but a study by the National Eye Institute shows that after 10 years, 36% of patients had become farsighted. Nevertheless, the study concluded it is a reasonably safe and effective procedure.
It's back to the bargaining table early next week for Portland area grocery workers. The 8-week-long labor dispute affects some 120 stores and more than 7,000 local grocery workers. The federal mediator says he's calling both sides in the dispute back to the bargaining table Tuesday, and both sides say they are encouraged by the development. Oregon and Washington are getting millions of dollars thanks to a price-fixing case. Some big oil companies were accused of fixing the price of oil and gas in the early 1970s to contrive a gas shortage so they could raise prices. Well, the oil companies have agreed to pay Oregon $8 million, Washington $13.5 million. Most of the money will be used for local transportation projects. In the settlement, the oil companies did not admit any wrongdoing.
I was out early this morning, and it felt very cold out there. Yeah, fall's in the air. How about a little bit of fall-like weather, Joe?
Well, Larry, that's going to happen, and it's going to happen over the next couple of hours. What you're looking at is the satellite radar composite, and this is put into a loop. Shows you the clouds and what's falling out of these clouds also. You can see them pushing in, and up around Seattle first, you see some rain, and then it starts to spread into the northern coast range of Oregon. And it looks like this rain is going to spread in a northwest to southeast fashion over the next couple of hours. So the rain is here, and we'll tell you about how much we're going to get in a little while with the forecast. Larry and Tracy, back to you.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Joe.
Well, if you're a young woman, you may be getting shortchanged more often than you think. This story is next.
When homeless residents moved into one Portland neighborhood, residents reacted, but not by kicking them out. And at the end of our show, we will hear from the Del Rubio triplets.
My love won't do you no harm. I feel nice. Sugar and...
This edition of News Channel 8 is closed captioned through a generous grant from Smith's Home Furnishings, because nobody cares like Smith's.
Tonight at 6 on News Channel 8.
In a high-speed chase, police have to stop the suspect and still keep innocent bystanders safe. We'll see what measures they can take.
Tonight at 6 on KGW Northwest News Channel 8.
It's about time someone gave you a choice when you watch news.
Now on KGW Northwest News Channel 8. See local news at 5, NBC Nightly News at 5:30, and more local news at 6 and 6:30.
It's about time.
Burlington Coat Factory has thousands of coats, not hundreds, thousands. Look at these low prices.
I know. How do they do it?
Why go anyplace else? I wouldn't.
Saturday is 15-hour sale. Save store-wide. Early bird specials 8 a.m. to noon. Use deferred billing. Saturday 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. at Meyer & Frank.
Many terminally ill patients become depressed. It's not uncommon for them to contemplate suicide. They fear whether they're going to have pain. They fear what the quality of their life is going to be like. The worst part of ballot measure 16 is the fact that there is no mental health counseling required. Many doctors fail to recognize depression in patients with terminal illness, and a patient could make this decision for all the wrong reasons.
This KGW Northwest News Channel 8 segment is brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
This label tells you it's 100% cotton. This label tells you it's 100% real cheese. And this label tells you it's 100% low fares. Always check the label. Southwest, the low-fare airline. On most airlines, you can only get a low fare to a few places. But Southwest has low fares everywhere we fly. So for low fares every time you fly, don't get stuck on some other airline. Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Northwest Portland is dealing with an influx of new residents, but don't expect a run on apartments. The newcomers are homeless, pushed out of Old Town by tough new laws. Only is looking for a way to help, not harass. Northwest Portland, where specialty shops and restaurants are attracting more than tourists these days.
I think since they had the program at Old